So, Bart, you're one of our younger drivers in the championship that we've had across April, competing across May as well. And you're competing in a Formula 3 championship with us on e-racing, which is what you're meant to be doing in real life in 2020.
Yeah, it's been really good prep because obviously there's not a huge amount of difference between the cars we've been racing online, although that's about to change, and what I'll be racing in real life, especially with the new aero package for this year in British F3. The car's really fast. So, yeah, it's been good to have a similar kind of benchmark to test myself online with on the sim.
One thing I'm intrigued to talk to you about, you're an Australian living in the UK. And from my understanding, you and your family moved to the UK specifically for your racing career. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't like to feel, sometimes I feel a bit guilty about it, but no, it's been really good, and I'm fortunate to have a really supportive family group behind me. And yeah, basically for my motor racing career, we decided that since we were already in a very isolated part of the earth, funnily enough, in Western Australia, even if I was to compete in Australia, I would probably have to fly over to the eastern states anyway, which is still quite a big change of lifestyle. So we already knew a lot of people in the UK, and Britain historically is known for being the place you want to go if you're an international racing driver trying to make a name for yourself. So we just decided that it was the best thing to do opportunity-wise, and I could get the most experience out of it. And I've really enjoyed just everything about racing in the UK. So many great tracks and cars and teams and series, and it's been an unreal experience.
As an Australian, do you look up to Daniel Ricciardo, or is it somebody else completely that you look up to?
Yes, especially when I was younger. I look up to a lot of drivers from history who clearly really capable drivers, and Daniel's just a really good driver, and there's a connection there because he comes from the same hometown as me. But yeah, so it's pretty unlikely that an F1 driver would come out of Perth, but it did in the case of Daniel. And he's a really great. I've been a massive supporter of his, and I've always thought how he goes about racing and how serious and how intense he is on the racetrack is a really great example to follow.
Well, but maybe we can see another Perth Formula One driver in the making with you. You've been back in the car this week. First time since all of this craziness started. What was it like for you getting back into the car?
Amazing. It was almost nauseating at first, a bit strange. It was just a little bit weird having so much more force than in the simulator, on the brakes and on the accelerator, and having to warm up the tires a bit more and focus on stuff like that, and being in a helmet. It was different, but it only took probably, I'd say, 2 sessions. Then all of a sudden it was just kind of back to normal. This is testing. I've got to get my testing. I've got to try and learn as much as we can, improve the car. And it was actually a really solid day's testing. I really enjoyed it. The weather was really good as well. Wasn't even that windy for Snetterton. So yeah, it was really great. And yeah, like I said, it's surprising how quickly, I think a lot of the drivers will find the same thing, is especially if you've been keeping yourself sharp in some way on the sim and doing physical training, we are preparing to get back into the car and basically get on with the job straight away. So I feel like it doesn't take many laps for people who have been doing all the necessary training to get back at a high level.
And the goal is Formula One?
Yeah, I think definitely the goal. However realistic it is hard to say, but I think you need to be ambitious in this sport. So yeah, Formula One.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck with it. Look forward to seeing you joining us again for our June series, which is slightly different, looking for the ultimate e-racing driver. So we'll be throwing some new challenges your way. We won't be in the Formula 3 car, so it'll be an interesting test on the sim, but certainly also wishing you the best of luck for getting back out into the real world of racing.
Thanks, Gemma.